All right, so the
device and creating your support case using my.netgear.com, you will receive priority access to our expert support technicians. You will be 20.
All right, as promised, we are going to discuss the secret, the number one thing that you can do to guarantee your success and gains in the sport of CrossFit, or the one thing that you can do to achieve success in CrossFit. This one thing is incredibly simple. There is no tricks or gimmicks involved here. However, simple does not equal easy, as it never does. So, in CrossFit, we talk about coming into the sport, being new to CrossFit. You need to do three things. And these three things apply to everyone across the board, whether you're an elite level athlete or deconditioned and just coming into sport. You need to, one, master the mechanics. Then you need to establish consistency, and then you add in intensity. So it is mechanics, consistency, then intensity. The mechanics means the basic fundamentals of the movement. It is practice. So it is done at low weights, done a lot of repetitions over and over again. It's done as best as humanly possible, and preferably done under the watchful eye of a coach. Consistency is establishing the habit. That can happen at exactly the same time as you're practicing the mechanics of something. It is, learning the simple chord progressions for playing the guitar, and you're doing it once a week. And then you start doing it twice a week. Then you start doing it 3 to 5 times a week. And once that habit is established, it's no longer something you have to force yourself to do. You just feel like you need to do it, and you keep it up. So mechanics first, consistency second. Intensity is the third thing. Intensity is the one factor that drives adaptation the most. That is from Glassman in the 100 Words of Fitness. That was the one thing that you could see the most adaptation. Intensity can mean a lot of different things. For us, intensity can be the load of weight that is on the bar or that you're choosing to move. Intensity can be the rate at which you are applying yourself. So you are going as hard as you possibly can go. Intensity can be racing somebody. There are many different ways to define intensity in our sport. Within that comes the key and the secret. So we are all human beings, and we all function in generally the same way. So I hate to break it to you, none of you are a unique unicorn. You are all humans, and we all kind of do the same stuff. So what was found by Glassman early on was that when he said 3, 2, 1, go, and pressed the clock, and now we were racing against the clock, people tried harder. And when he was teaching people one-on-one, they weren't trying as hard as he knew they could try. So he put them against the clock. And the clock was that stimulus that pushed that intensity into that level. And so they started racing the clock. As the CrossFit grew and became bigger and more popular, it was no longer feasible that Greg was going to teach people one-on-one. So he started teaching people 2 and 3 on 1. What he realized was when he went 3, 2, 1, go, and there were 3 people working together, they raced, especially if they were dudes. And he figured out real fast that people will hurt themselves for a win. and it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like in our nature, man or woman, that when you are pitted against somebody else, you will go really, really hard. And that was the secret that he found. So he found that if he put people in the same environment doing the similar things, scaling appropriate to each one of those people, but keeping that scale within the intensity, the stimulus of what the workout was meant to be, and they went 3, 2, 1, go, and they all went at the same time, they went harder than if they were just left to their own and they just did it by themselves to the side. So the secret of CrossFit kind of grew out of that. As Greg was leading more and more classes, he would write the name of the athlete that he taught first in the day on a whiteboard. And so it would say Timmy, and then it would have Timmy's time and Timmy's weight. Then Sally came in with Bobby and Rachel. And so Sally, Bobby, Rachel saw Timmy's score, and there started this whole entire whiteboard theory. And this is where it started. It was to keep track of the people that came in through the day and showed the scores up there. What he noticed was at the end of the day, athletes would come in, look at the board, and go, oh, Rachel did it in 4 minutes. I'm kind of like Rachel. I can beat Rachel. And so that person would go and attack that workout just to beat Rachel. And there was no prize on the table. There was no reward to be won. But by simply pitting themselves against someone of similar level that they knew, all of a sudden people were going much, much harder, and the intensity levels were skyrocketing, and then people were seeing success. So, as simple as it sounds, the key to success in CrossFit is utilizing the whiteboard, taking advantage of the whiteboard. So for us at CrossFit 611, that is using Wodify. So putting your scores into Wodify is a natural way to achieve accountability. So you are putting your score in regardless of what you did, and it is marking it on the board. You are then checking the board to see where you stand against other people. It's not in a form of like competitiveness that is malicious. It is simply like, hey, let me see where I stand against the people that are similar to me and where I go. So that is number one of the keys to the secret. Now, along that secret, if you want to take that secret to the next level, just a little bit, you then film yourself doing the workouts. So if you are actually putting a camera up and you're going to put that camera on you the entire time, and that camera is just going to watch you throughout the workout, your mind is going to start erasing each one of those little breaks that you would take, right? When you go and replay that video, even if it is just to you, you're going to see all the times that you walked to the chalk bucket. You're going to go, why did I walk to the chalk bucket when this workout is running and rowing? And you will realize that you're simply using the chalk bucket to rest. But when we film ourselves, it takes away all of those barriers. We go, you know what, I can do this a little bit harder. I can push a little bit more. I can go just that little bit harder. So the secret that is within there is use the Wodify. So set up the whiteboard so that you are posting yourself out there, putting yourself, making yourself vulnerable to the scores. Whether you scale it or you do it RX, it doesn't matter. Just put it up there. 2, then film yourself doing it. All right. So once we are moving along our way towards goals, people say that goals need to be 3 things. They need to be measurable, they need to be repeatable, and then they need to be observable. Now, measurable we do pretty well at CrossFit. Everything has a weight, has a scale, a distance, it has something that goes with it. So we're pretty good at measurable. We hit benchmark workouts and do similar lifts over and over again so that you can see that. So we do measurable and repeatable very well. What we don't do very well is observable, right? So that's also where the video comes into play, right? Doing it in the team, amongst us inside the gym is not as possible. So I can speak to this on a personal level a little bit from two sides, right? Number one, we've all competed in the open before. And in the open, there are many people, including myself, that do the first something in their open, right? Whether it be the first for John one-legged squat, right? Or the first for John double under, or the first muscle up, or the first time that you snatched 135, or were able to clean 185, whatever it may be, right? Handstand walk. These stories are not new. We see it every year when the open comes up. And always the question is why? Why does this happen? Well, you're now on a global leaderboard. You're with a team going through a competition, right? And because of that level of accountability, boom, we skyrocket and we're able to do things that we've never thought we were able to do before. So we can take some of that and apply it at home. Right? The other side of this is I'm watching it happen in real life with my wife, Angela. So Angela has been filming her workouts for months now. And she has been posting those workouts to a social media platform. Now, it doesn't matter that 2 people watch it or 77 people watch it, but what is happening is she can't necessarily make a class, and especially now during the quarantine, none of us can go to class. So this isn't really a big change for her routine, but she can't make a class. But by posting herself out there, it is making her push harder because she believes that somebody's going to see it and someone's going to, judge her or critique her or see her level of exertion throughout there. And the gains are going through the roof. So we know that this really does work. Now, it sounds easy, right? All you have to do is break out your camera and film yourself doing a workout and post your scores into Wodify. It's not that simple because they're also going to see how bad your form is, how much work you need to do, how bad you suck at these skills, right? These are all the same for me. And it's going to shine light on all of your weaknesses. You're going to see yourself. And it's one thing to look at yourself in the mirror and see what you believe you look like. It's another thing to see yourself in video moving and being like, dang, is that really what I look like? And be like, yeah, that actually is what you look like. That's what I see. So it is hard. It is difficult, but that is the secret. The secret to what we are doing is utilizing the whiteboard and taking some sort of video accountability for yourself. It also can mean when we open the gym back up, like coming to class and doing the workouts in a class. So you're being accountable to the coach who's watching you. But there is something special about actually filming it and then watching it over again. So I know it's not groundbreaking and it's really no big secret, but it is doing those little things that are going to exponentially increase your ability to perform well in CrossFit.